If your dog does something bad, should you punish him? Trainers like Zack George believe that as of right now, there is no reason at all to ever punish a dog.
Using aversion in dog training is unnecessary.
But is he right? This is a very controversial topic at the moment. Maybe you already have an opinion, but please hear me out. For anyone that doesn't know, I'll quickly explain why this debate exists before sharing exactly what happened with Mr. Bean. I'm going to keep this super short because I could talk about it for hours, and I do want to talk about it for hours. But there are 4 quadrants when it comes to dog training. We have reinforcement, which encourages a behavior, and you've got punishment, which reduces a behavior. And then you have positive and negative, but it's more like maths, so you add something and you take something away. So positive reinforcement is adding something good to see a behavior reinforced. Positive punishment is adding something not nice to get them to stop something. And the current debate within the dog training world, is it necessary to use all of the tools to train dogs? Now back to Mr. Bean. Our situation, we live in Cambodia. Cambodia is a little bit different than the UK and the US. Bean's mum was a street dog, and rather than having more dogs on the streets, we decided to adopt Bean at the age of about 8 weeks old. When we first got Bean, we lived in a hotel, and once we came out of the hotel, you were on this dirt road. On the dirt road, there was everything a dog loves. You had chickens, you had lizards, you had motorbikes, other street dogs. Anything a dog wants to chase and get involved with, it was right outside our door. When he was outside, he became overstimulated very, very easily. And usually when a dog becomes super aroused and overstimulated, you would desensitize them to it by maintaining a far distance and introducing the stimulus very, very slowly. Almost every single time we took him out, there would be a lizard, there would be a chicken, a cat, a dog, a motorbike. And in Cambodia, there's especially a lot of motorbikes. And now this is where the problem came into it. Bean became obsessed with motorbikes. He always wanted to chase them, and eventually he started trying to dive in front of them. We hoped it would calm down after 1 or 2 months, but unfortunately it didn't, and that sort of put us in this difficult situation where we had to make a decision. With all the bikes coming and going, I decided that the best course of action was to use positive punishment to try and eliminate that behavior, because for me it was becoming too dangerous with him lunging in front of bikes or trying to chase after him the whole entire time. Applying positive punishment, so I decided that we would use a slip lead. When he was going to lunge at a bike, or as he lunged at a bike, I would say no, pop the lead towards us, and then try and apply the pressure to the side of his neck. After a while, he learned to stop chasing bikes, and he stopped lunging after them. And then it got to the stage where if he was going to, we could just say no, and he'd stop what he was about to do. He'd be a bit stiff, but be like, what's going on? And then he'd go back into whatever behavior he was doing before. And then once he went back to the other behavior, we would give him verbal praise. And as of right now, he has got no problems with bikes. We can walk him down the road, he doesn't lunge, he doesn't pull towards him or anything. He's a lot calmer and he's a lot safer. Now you may be wondering, why didn't we use treats and toys? And that is a very, very good question. Mr. Bean is not highly food motivated. We can do traditional training about once or twice a day, maybe 3 times if we're really lucky. And this is only when he's in the mood as well, when he's really hungry and he wants to play. And if he's not in the mood, he will just do nothing and stare blankly at you like, what are you doing? So you mix a dog that's got a low food and toy drive, and you chuck him into an overstimulated area where there's things he wants to hunt and chase. You do not have a chance by using a treat. It took him months before we could start getting him to a stage where he would eat treats and actually get a bit of engagement with us on the outside. Even then, inside the house as well as out, we'd offer him steak or cheese and he would still turn it down. With a lot of houses, you have a garden or you've got a bit of a transition before you get to the outside on the road and things like that. We weren't in that situation where we did, so we'd go from the hotel to outside. It was a massive jump, and there wasn't enough of a transition to get him in that state where he can be comfortable, because there's always a lot of stimuli. Where he was still a puppy, or still is a puppy, he's only 10 months old, but where he's still a puppy, we were toilet training him, so it means we were going out about every 2 or 3 hours. The decision basically came down to, do we keep training him inside to try and prepare him for it and ease going outside less often, or do we keep taking him outside to go pee and toilet training and then use positive punishment to try and keep him safe? And we decided that the best thing for him would be to use positive punishment to get him to stop pulling towards motorbikes, so we didn't really need to worry about that. So that's the situation, and I would love to know what you think about this. Was it the right decision for me to use corrections to keep Mr. Bean safe? Or was there something I missed and maybe something I could have done a little bit different? Or maybe you just think I'm an absolute monster for correcting a puppy, which is fine too. Cool. The whole point of this is, for me, I want this channel to be open and transparent and talk about the whole spectrum of dog training rather than pushing one agenda. As you can probably tell, I'm new to YouTube. I'm trying to hit 10 subscribers, so if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe, it'd mean a lot. I want this channel to be open discussion. I don't want it to be an echo chamber. I don't want this to be a purely positive echo chamber or a purely balanced echo chamber. I want to look at everything and be non-biased as possible. That's actually just a motorbike.